Let me tell you a little bit about the history of legal services and Legal Services of Eastern Missouri. The Legal Services Corporation that exists today began as part of the War on Poverty. Back in the 60s, programs were established, to help those in need. Job Corps, Head Start, Vista. All these different programs were created by the Great Society to help and to attack poverty on behalf of those in need. And then there became an understanding that if we're going to have all these programs, we need to provide advocates for them, for individuals who qualify for these programs. If they get denied or if they're not treated the way they should be, they're going to need advocacy. And that's where the idea of legal aid, the Legal Services Corporation, came about. That established that those who could qualify for government programs got a lawyer to help them. And because this is the war on poverty, and because we're dealing with those folks in need, Legal Services was established that if you met certain income guidelines, the services you received, the legal services you received, were free. Legal aid here in St. Louis has a long and rich history. Goes back further than the war on poverty. The first indication, the first time legal aid and the concept of legal aid was introduced in St. Louis was in 1911, before many other cities. The idea that you provide legal aid to those in need started here, as I said, in 1911. But it was not until 1956 that the Legal Aid Society of St. Louis became established and became incorporated. And that's the beginning of Legal Services of Eastern Missouri, because we have proudly been doing this advocacy work for over 62 years. And we have grown in that 62 years. We have gone from focusing in on St. Louis City to then adding St. Louis County, to then adding St. Charles, to then adding Jefferson County. And then we added the counties in the Union, Missouri area, Franklin, Washington, Lincoln, Warren. And in the 90s, we went as far north as the Iowa border. And we added 14 counties in northeast Missouri. Hannibal, of course, being the linchpin, and that's where our office is. But we added 14 more counties. So we now stretch north from the Iowa border and south down to Potosi. And there are over 350,000 people in that 21 county service area. And we do our best to represent those in need.
Do you mean 350,000 financially eligible for your service?
That's what I should have said. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right.
350,000 financially eligible, persons.
Tell me a little bit about the outreach and education you do to those folks in addition to the people who actually become your clients.
Yeah. Knowledge is power. Education is power. And so we, as much as we can, in as many different ways as we can, we work to get information and education, both through oral presentations, both through video presentations, both through publications, now, of course, social media, to let people know what their rights are. As I said, knowledge is power. And when you know your rights, that gives you something to work with.
And if folks were going to try to get some of that knowledge, what's your website? Where should they go on the website?
Our website is www.lsem.org.
And you can also be found on Facebook, Legal Services of Eastern Missouri or LSEM.
We have a Facebook page. Of
course you do.
Like us.
All right, there you go. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Gary.